That not sound like some of our wake yet. Good morning, Claude McKay.
Good morning, sir.
Alright. That sound a little bit better. But I'm sure we'll get it as we go along. Now, I must thank Miss Pollard. And I hope you know that's a very powerful name, for such a lovely introduction. Lady White, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
And I know you wouldn't forgive me if I didn't make it this time, not true? Alright, so I've been invited here on many occasions, and for some other competing reasons, I would not have been able to do so. But I am glad I am able to do so today. I'm seeing a few faces around the place that I know. Yes. And as the introduction would have said, I am a son of the soil. Where I'm from is not very far from here. So if I go the road there and go through Carty Hill, in 5 minutes I am home. So even though I don't live there, that's where I am from. So to our principal, vice principal, hardworking teachers, parents, dedicated staff, and most importantly, the bright shining stars of the day, our awardees and other students, good morning. As I stand here with you this morning to speak to you briefly under the theme, Education, a tool for, or a tool of transformational power. I promise that I'll try not to be long, but I hope that the few words that I will share will go down well with everybody. As I said, I am happy to be here, and one thing I am sure of is that today is a proud day for many people. First of all, I want you to clap yourselves for continuing to recognize and reward excellence. Give one man clap. Yes. In awarding those excellence, I want us to remember one thing though, because we always reward academic excellence. And I want you to get me clearly. We always award academic excellence. Hold a second for me. Alright? But we know that education in the 21st century is moving away from just academic excellence. And as a sports fanatic myself, I would have listened to the sports news and I would have heard Claude McKay name called. Yeah? In other spheres as it relates to cultural activities, I also hear Claude McKay name called. And as Mrs. White would have just said, Claude McKay is the place to be, not just for the reason that they are doing well academically, but even for those who are not so academically excellent, they can find a place. And we know that that's where the world is going. Some of us may not be the brightest in terms of the books, the academics, but as long as we put our heads and hearts to what we want, then we can get to where we want to be. And if we think of some of the most successful people around us, these people may not have been some of the most brilliant academically, but guess what? They did enough academically to qualify. I don't know how Claude McKay's system set up, but for me, when I was at Stets and as a sports coordinator, you have to have a certain minimum requirement if you're going to play cricket, or you're going to play football, or you're going to take part in JCDC activities. So they did enough. And I'm sure schools like ours, and when I say ours, I'm talking about Claude McKay my little school, Clarksonville, and schools like those, we focus on those. So I say that to say, while we focus on awarding excellence, those who are not so academically excellent, don't be disheartened. Focus on what you can do academically and build on yourself outside of the academics so that you can achieve your excellence. Anywhere young Jamaicans are being celebrated for excellence, the energy is always good. And I can see it in here this morning. And I know I soon start say cameras roll out because parents want to take 2 pictures for IG and 2 video clips for TikTok and all of those things. Because we are proud when we see our children doing well. So let us start on the right way. We are going to give another big thunderous James Hill round of applause for all our prize winners for today. You all deserve it because surviving school in Jamaica today is no easy feat. And for a school like Claude McKay, between the bad roads to reach school, the overloaded taxis, the noisy classmates, early morning devotions, and teachers who love to give homework on weekends. Yeah man, I know somebody would have said something about that. And some days you feel like you can't bother. But look at you now. Yeah? You're still standing and you're still shining. And as somebody said earlier, the reward is sweet even when the process is bitter. And those of us, the root, when the root is bitter, the fruit is sweet. And that's what I want you, Claude McKay, to focus on. Parents, even if you did not get it, because we know a lot of us live through our children. When we never get, we want them to get. Not true? So I encourage you to continue on that path to ensure that they reach that excellence. So let me dissect the theme a little bit for you now. The theme, education, a tool to transformational power. Yes man, that theme powerful bad in and of itself. Now, education, a tool of transformational power. Now, I defined or redefined education earlier because I don't want in any way for us to continue to define education as academic excellence. Education is anywhere you can focus, learn, be disciplined, and make the best of yourself through whatever skill set you acquire through that. Yeah? Too many times because we are not the brightest, we sink ourselves into depression. Whereas if we had continued on our path of whether it is football or whatever other sphere we are good at, we would have achieved excellence. But because the society continues to tell us that if you don't get 10 subjects, you are not anybody, we continue living that lie. But Claude McKay is going to mark down that lie. Right? And continue to build young people in the best ways we can. So that is education. When some of us hear the word tool, Lord have mercy. Tool, we think about machines and and those things. That's what we knew tool as back in the day. Yeah? Hammer and nail and those things. But we know that tool goes way beyond that. As a matter of fact, nowadays, Sir Principal, say tool at about the gun and the knife and that kind of thing. Yeah, man. That's right there right now. But we talk about that another time. So, in our case now, we are talking about education being the tool. And we are going to take that tool and we are going to be using it to the best of our ability. When education gets a hold of you, it can change your whole story. It turns Me can't manage into watch me now. Yes? That's what education is supposed to do to you. It's supposed to turn me come from nothing into me a build something. Anybody agree with me? It is supposed to turn me now make it into me just get my first degree or me just get my first diploma. Look at me now, me just get one CXC in a 10th grade. That is what me now make it is supposed to transform you into. One step at a time. And everything that you saw as being negative, you are supposed to twist it and turn it into positive, something positive. And I say to you people, life will have challenges. So don't look at any of us here and think that, okay, them clean and them look good and them alright. We all were there. We all had our challenges. Some of us had challenges greater than you sitting here. And we weathered the storm. People sitting here among you can tell you that I had stories that was way, way rougher than most of you sitting here. Yes? But we weathered the storm. Now, education, a tool of transformational power. Who will this education transform? It starts with you, but it doesn't end there. So, when you learn something new, you don't just fill your head. You build your confidence. Those of us who play video game know about when you level up. Not true? When you reach another level, you feel confident and you feel like, say, yeah, me reach somewhere. That is what education is supposed to do to you. You level up and you keep moving to another level. So it builds your confidence, and the more you go up, you feel like you can go further. One day you are on level 1, struggling with math. Next thing you know, you pass up the test. You maybe didn't expect it. But your confidence now builds. And personally, I can tell you about that. Somebody introduced, the young lady who introduced me, spoke about me being a math teacher, a math lecturer, all kind of math something. I remember the days when I struggled with math in 8th grade and 9th grade and decided, say, no, my friend, them can't so bright in a maths and me have no sense in a maths. Yeah. So I stuck to them, stick on them until I got it. Alright? So it will not always be easy. Remember, as I said, education isn't just about books. A person can be bright in books and dunce in manners and behavior. And that is not real education. So, always remember, your manners is important. Real education teaches you to reason, to respect people, to rise above foolishness. Anybody know what I'm talking about? The little school class, the little late for class, education teach us. Rise above those things. Real education also teach us, as the old people would say, learning is better than silver and gold. Use all of that to transform you, yourself. Now my parents, guardians, everybody else, after you get to that transforming of yourself awardees, you have to remember that education also transforms your family. Hello? Education is supposed to transform your family. It's not just about you. We can start off at the bottom to say, when our parents see us excelling, have you ever seen the look on their faces? Have you ever, sometimes you even embarrassed the way them hug you up and kiss you up in a crowd when you pass your exam. Yeah? It's the start of how education is supposed to transform a family. When a person is educated, the whole family rise up. I know some parents right now want to shout, "Thank you, Jesus," because their child is getting something today. But seriously, your success changes your family's stories, awardees. Maybe your parents never got the chance to finish high school, never got the chance to reach where you are, but through you, they are living the dream. So don't disappoint them. Remember the saying, one cocoa full basket. I don't know how many of you know that, but if you grow with your granny, you know it. Every subject you pass, every skill you learn, that's one more cocoa in the basket. That is one more cocoa in the basket. So when you collect those awards today, smile for yourselves, of course. But also remember the generations before you, your parents, your grandparents, your aunties, your uncles, all of the other people before you who made it possible for you. And that is supposed to transform your family. So we talk about education transforming who first? You. Secondly, we talk about education transforming your family. And of course, ultimately, it is supposed to transform our nation. And good God, those of us who like the current affairs, the news and all of those things, we see where our nation could do well with some more common sense and discipline and good behavior and all of those little things that we know that education can help to fix. Because sometimes when we are on the road and we see some behaviors and some actions, we realize that just a little education would cause these behaviors to be different. And ultimately, these differences would help to transform our nation. Education is the power that transforms our whole country, and there's no denying that. And we know that Jamaica is full of talent, full of power, full of skill sets, and we can name them. Marcus Garvey, Miss Lou, Usain Bolt, Shelley and Fraser Price. And we can continue endlessly. But our real strength shows when every young person uses their education to build, not break down. Because one of the things we realize now is that we have some very bright people who choose to use the education in a negative way. I know some of my brightest math students who I taught CXC math when I was teaching in the high school, who are some top level hackers and choppers. And when we say, them never normal academically, them did bright. So acquiring that kind of knowledge, we have to decide what we are going to use it for. One of the first things I learned in IT when I started leveling up in IT was that hacking, when we hear the term hacking, we usually think that just somebody breaking into your computer. But as you go along, you learn that you can learn hacking as a part of your studies. You go to university and you learn hacking because it's something that is necessary in the field of IT. So anytime you hear that somebody break into a bank system or anything like that, you have to wonder, is it a dunce? No. It's one of those same people who went to university and learned the skill set and learned how to do it. Alright? So, as we always say, level up. Get yourself educated, but be careful how you use that education when you get it. Alright? So we say our real strength of our young people is when they use their education to build, not to break down. Awardees, remember that book Smart Alone is not good if you don't have heart. We need young people who can code computers, write poems, design bridges, plant farms, rear animals, play ball, run sprints, and we could continue. And still humble enough to help somebody in need. So regardless of where we reach in education, remember, if we don't have heart, we're still not anywhere. So let us remember that. Transformation takes effort, discipline, and some amount of sweat. Transformation takes effort, discipline, and some amount of sweat. And I've said this before. I don't want at any point when I speak anybody think that, oh, it was smooth and easy for them so they can't say anything. No. We went through it. We toiled. We burned the midnight oil. And some of us, I did literally oil because I did lamp. Yes, man. Some of never even see one of that. Yeah? So we did it. So nobody feel like so because we speak, we had it easy. We have been there. We have done that. Alright? So remember, education is to transform you, your family, and ultimately your nation. And I'm going to skip out a whole section of this. School sweet, but sometimes school rough. Somebody asked the question the other day, and I'm trying to remember exactly what the question was. They said, you ever notice how school lunch always tastes good when it's not your lunch? Yeah. They were talking about the good side of school. So despite the fact that you have to toil through this, remember the good memories of school. Enjoy your lives. Some of you turn adult too quick and miss the joy of being children. Yeah? So while you think about, I see some people are pointing at some people and say, yes, you. Yeah? Now I'm not to call their name, but I see them. Alright? Enjoy your childhood. Enjoy being students. You must also remember how the one day when you forget to do your homework, that is the day teacher decides to collect homework. Anybody can relate to that? Yeah, man. But there's something supposed to be joy later on when you remember those little things. Yeah? Because that's all a part of school life. So I say that to say, I'm not just here to tell you to toil and toil and toil and work hard. I am also here to tell you, enjoy your school life. Remember, education plus attitude equal true power. And if you want to write it down, you can write it down. Education plus attitude equal true power. And let me tell you something. When you see an uneducated person do certain things, you can overlook it. But when you see somebody who you expect to know better, especially because they are educated, do the same thing, it looks 10 times worse. So remember that while you educate yourself, your attitude, how you treat people, the heart that you have, your behavior on the road is going to show on you. Because them are going to say, no sir, Claude Mackey him go. And I know say him get good training at home plus school. So, him should have know better. Right? No matter how far you go, never forget the people who helped to carry you over that bridge. Now to the teachers and to the parents, the real what I want to describe as, and that includes Sir Principal. Yes, because honestly, you know, as a principal, some of us, when somebody passes, we and say, Prinny or Princey, it's really no panic. But you see when they say, teach, oh God, man, it hit hard. Because that's really your true passion, and that's why you end up being a principal. Yeah, when they say teach, you feel that because you know that that's really what you are. So to the teachers and parents, the real MVPs, big up yourselves. You deserve vacations in the Bahamas and Paris. If it was up to me, I would. Because when I sat there and hear Lady White spoke, I was like, yes, this is how I want our principals and vice principals and school leaders to be able to stand and speak about the data. Remember, say you can't make up that thing because somebody can go check it and check it for true. When it comes on to the numbers and the data, it's not something we can make up and tell one lie. Because it is there. And nowadays, nothing to hide. You can go online and find it. So, big up to the teachers, the persons who are leading the school in that direction. To the parents who continue to sacrifice for this, I lift my hats off to you as well. Your efforts are the foundations of today's celebration, parents. I'll repeat that. Your efforts are the foundation of today's celebration. If you didn't put in what you put in, then none of us would have a reason to be here today. So, big up, big up, big up yourselves. Students, final challenge. As you step into the next chapter, whether you level up to the next grade, whatever you are being awarded for now, remember that you're moving into the next chapter. So if you are getting a grade 7 award and you are now in grade 8, you are moving into that next chapter. So as you move into that next chapter, remember, small efforts every day build success tomorrow. Small efforts every day is what is going to lead to your success. So don't get up today and feel like me can chill today and not do nothing. Because that becomes a habit. And when you feel like you can't do it, you know, and do it today, tomorrow you go come and say, no, I have 3 more days in the week, so we can chill too. The moment that becomes a habit in you, and somebody has shake their head again because they know what I talk about. I like when people are honest. And that's one of the first things, be honest to yourselves. Yeah. Yeah man, we can chill one next day. We can do start the assignment tomorrow. We call it procrastinating. Try not to get yourselves into that. Small efforts every day. Do one little piece like today. Do one next part like tomorrow until you get it done. Use your education as the key, not a decoration. Use your education as the key, not a decoration. Some of us know some people who have all of these decorations behind their names. Degree in this, diploma in that. And them fool. They say we don't call nobody fool, but sometimes truth are truth. Yes, they don't have much sense. So use your education as tools, not as decorations. Don't just say me have this, me have that, me pass this, me pass that. Let it show in how you live, in how you operate, in how you behave at home, in how you behave at school. And ultimately when you go out there, it will have become a natural habit. So it will start showing in your everyday life. So remember that. And lastly, don't let fear hold you back. Don't let fear hold you back. They have a thing where they say, coward man keeps sound bone. But when it comes on to you, please remember that the brave men and women build the future. So if you stay in your comfort zone every day and do not attempt to go outside of that comfort zone, you're going to always be in trouble. Alright? So don't let fear hold you back. A lot of you are here today because you got out of that fear and took on things that you know that you could do. So do not let that fear hold you back. As you celebrate today, remember, education is more than passing exam. It is the power to change lives, families, and nations. It's the lamp that lights your path. It's the hammer that breaks your barriers. It's the machete that clears bush on the road to success. Use your tools wisely. Sharpen it with discipline. Polish it with humility. Swing it boldly with purpose. You are the generation that will transform Jamaica, land we love. Walk good, stay focused, stay humble, and remember, the sky is not the limit, it's just a view. Congratulations to all awardees. Go out there and continue to change your school, continue to change Jamaica, and ultimately, you will be the ones to change the world. Thank you. Have yourselves a wonderful rest of today.